Now, I don't know who needs to hear this, but seeds, they don't last forever. Now, some seeds can last for a really long time, even hundreds of years. And there's examples of cave beans and different things that have been found sealed in clay vessels like squash seeds that they've planted and have actually germinated after a really long time. That being said, a lot of seeds don't have the same kind of shelf life. Particularly the smaller seeds are going to not last as long and not be as resilient to changes over time, and you're going to lose germination, and you're also going to have weaker seedlings when they do come up. So it's really smart to actually be consistently replenishing your seed stock. And so that's why you can't just buy a bunch of seeds and save them for 30 years and think you're ready for the apocalypse. No, you have to keep planting those seeds out and making sure that they're still viable and saving more fresh seeds every year to make, or at least every few years, to make sure that you're updating that stock. And if you have a longer lasting seed like a bean, maybe you could do it less frequently than that. But that being said, I always have lots and lots of seeds because I like to plant a lot of stuff. Then I also save my own seeds. So I can't sow all of these, and also I can't sell them all because people don't buy a lot of seeds from me. So what am I gonna do with all this dill? Well, I could let it go to waste, or I could throw it out before it rains, and it's gonna rain soon. So one thing I like to do a couple of times a year is during the winter rains, I'll put out a lot of cool season seeds. I'm in Southern California, zone 10A, so we can grow all year here. And during the spring, I'll put out warmer season stuff. And I like to put these out before it rains. I'll mix clay, soil, seeds, and a little cayenne pepper so that the rodents don't go too ape on it. And then I'll just throw them out, and I get a lot of good germination. When there's a good couple of days of rain coming in, then it's really easy to get a lot of free plants this way. So I'm gonna just go through my stash of things that I'm not sowing this year, that I have extra seeds of. I'm gonna pop them all into this bag, and you guys can join me to look through, and I'll tell you my thoughts on why I'm not planting this again. And a lot of them are just because they're old. So I didn't buy all these seeds. I started selling plant starts last year, and people just started giving me tons and tons of seeds. Some of the seeds are still viable and they're pretty fresh and they're varieties that I want to grow, but some of them are like varieties I'm not really interested in, or they're older seed packets. So I'm not going to waste my time trying to get poor germination out of them. And if they want to grow, then they can grow. First, I've got this Verlicum 2 carrot that somebody gave me. That's going to go right up in there. I got this Bull's Blood beet from 2020, so it's a little older, and I'm gonna throw it in there. Someone gave me this one as well. Those would probably germinate, but I got enough beet seeds. So I've got this Amaranth Pink Beauty. Yeah, someone gave me so many of these Baker Creek seeds, so I just can't do them all. So I'm gonna see if any of them want to grow in my environment, and if they do, then they can survive. This was a free seed, so maybe someone got given that, or I got given that. I've got my miner's lettuce. This actually didn't grow good when I started them in pots, so I'm just gonna throw them out and see if they want to grow wild, because some plants are like that. They don't want to be treated well. They're like, they want to be treated poorly. All right. I've got a little bit of a complimentary salad bowl mix that MI Gardener sent me for free, so let's throw that in there too, because I got plenty of lettuces that I actually know what they are, and it's less confusing for me. Got some lacinato kale that my landlord gave me. So this is that black Tuscan kale. I like this. I have plenty of these going though already, so I do not need to save these seeds. And there's also butter crunch lettuce in there, which I already have plenty of seeds for that as well. But boom, those are both going in. I highly recommend doing this to refresh your seed stock. There is no reason to have hundreds and hundreds of seeds. I've got the Chantenay Red Core from Baker Creek that someone gave me as well, and that's from 2020, so that's going in there. Another pack of that, it looks like. Oh no, this is the Coral Carrot from Baker Creek. So that's also going in. This I bought to do this with. This is a wildflower mix from MI Gardener, and I just got this so that I could throw it out in a couple different. I'll probably put half of it right here in the winter, and I'll probably put half of it in the spring mix. Wildflowers seem to like to grow out here. Not when it's super cold, but sometimes some of them do good in the winter, like bachelor's buttons. So there's some of that. I've got Scabiosa Summer Fruits. I don't even know what this is. Someone gave me this from Baker Creek. It's 2023, but I just don't have plans for it, so it's going in here. I'd rather do this than waste the seeds, and I sow more seeds than anyone I know. So if I'm not gonna grow it, nobody that I know is gonna grow it. This is kind of the way it is. So dill, just a regular non-GMO dill from somewhere. Gardener Basics, somebody, I don't know who gave me this, my landlord. Boom, that's going in there. I've got plenty of my own dill seeds. I've got Alyssum Royal Carpet. Normally you see the white Alyssum, but this is like a purple looking one, so that's pretty cool. We'll put that in here. I find it's a little harder to open. So I hope everyone's gardens are doing good. If you're in a spot where you're gonna get freeze for the winter, you're probably wrapping up a lot of your gardening. But if you're in a spot like me where you can grow all year, then you really should be getting on your stuff again because the season is changing. Here's some Long Island improved Brussels sprouts. I don't really grow a lot of Brussels sprouts and I already have some seeds. Mainly they take up too much space and they take too long to grow. So if they want to grow on the hill outside of my beds, then they can. That's another one of those Royal Carpets to put in. I got some Italian oregano and I already have plenty of seeds for this, so I don't need this. And if it wants to grow on the hill, it can. I've got some cover crop mix as well that I'm going to throw in both the spring and the winter. The cover crop and the wildflower are just good. If any of those grow, then that's beneficial. Even if they're not going to be things that I'm going to harvest, it could still benefit where I put the seeds. I'm not going to put too much of that cover crop mix in there, actually. I'll do this separate. Probably going to put this mostly in areas that are struggling. So I'm going to keep that separate and put it in struggling areas so that those beans don't take over. There's usually broad beans in those mixes. I got some Italian flat leaf parsley that's going to go in there. Boom. You know what's funny is, like, I've had way better success with parsley just growing wild, and you let one go to seed and you'll just have parsley forever. And it grows pretty slowly and lasts a long time. So let's see, I got Detroit dark red beets from Burpee. I don't know, I don't even remember where a bunch of these came from, but this year people gave me hundreds of seed packets. I'm not even playing. All right, I've got slow bolt cilantro. Now, you might think I'm crazy for doing this, but really, if I don't know where the seeds came from, I've had really bad experiences just growing random seed and having it just not be successful. So if it wants to grow, it can, and I'll save seeds from it and do it again. Also, some of these are F1s, and I only grow heirlooms because I like to be able to just let them do their thing, and if they want to seed out, then I know that I can have another similar type plant next year. Here's Merlot lettuce from Baker Creek, another free seed. Don't know if this one was one I got given or someone gave me. I don't really love these red rumpled lettuces. I feel like they're difficult to keep nice, or I don't know. Just feel like I've had better experience with green ones or a red romaine in particular. All right, I've got early scarlet globe radish. I like little red radishes like this. I love the French market radish. I love lady slipper and there's a few other varieties. Can't think of the one right now. Oh, collard greens, Georgia Southern from Botanical Interests. Someone gave me this. I don't eat a lot of collards, but I know my coworker does. So if these start growing, he'll be stoked. But you really only need one collard green plant because they put out. They really do. All right, what's up next? Borage. Borage will give you courage. That's the old wives' tale on it. And it's an herb. It's a wildflower. It's a California native plant, I believe. And it makes pretty blue flowers. Kind of tastes like a cucumber. It's edible, but it is kind of pokey. So I don't really eat it that much. You can make a tea from it as well. And the flowers are that pretty blue. So that's a nice little flower to have around in your garden in some of the areas where you're not growing vegetables. Here is early golden acre cabbage. But like I said, like normally cabbage packs will come with like 200 or 300 seeds in them, like most other brassica seeds do. And I can get like almost every seed to germinate. So when I have one pack, that I don't need a bunch of packs because they're gonna last me too many years and they won't be hardy by the time I get around to planting them. So I've got German chamomile right here. Love this. I like to plant this in the middle of winter, and then it really starts popping off with its flowers in the spring after it gets to grow really nice. I have more of these seeds saved from my own seed stock of this German chamomile from a different brand, so I don't need to save that. Put it out. More early acre golden cabbage. More early acre golden cabbage from a different brand. How did I get all these? I had some chard that I saved seeds from, and I had some beets that I saved seeds from. And the beets, they really didn't make a lot of roots, so I just mixed them with the chard seed because I felt like they were more chard than beet. Maybe something happened, I'm not quite sure, but it is what it is sometimes. And you know, beet greens are very similar to chard, they're cousins, the seeds look identical, so it wouldn't be a surprise to me if they were beets, but I just ate them as leaves if they were small rooted. Anyway, here's Keltis Green Mountain Winter from Baker Creek. I don't know. Someone gave me this one as well. Somebody was really ambitious and they had a ton of seeds, but they did not have the time or the energy to grow them. Hey! So here's some spinach from Baker Creek that someone gave me. It's going in there. Buckwheat. I got some rose red buckwheat that I had gotten from Baker Creek. I grew some of these out. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put them in the seed mix because I'm too tired to grow more buckwheat right now. If I do wanna grow it, I'll probably grow it in a larger, like a cover crop kind of way. I've got some ruby Swiss chard here. So that'll be nice. Put some of that into the mix. I've got white buckwheat right here. I'm gonna put this in the spring mix actually. Buckwheat does like some heat, and so maybe I'll try some in the winter mix, try some in the spring mix. Oh yeah, cherry bell. This is one of my other favorite types of radishes, but I have plenty of seeds for those, so this packet is gonna go in the mix. We're starting to get a pretty nice little mix going on there. And we're almost done, so let's keep going at haste. All right. Got some dill seeds from my own collection right here, and I have that other big bag, so I'll probably just go ahead and toss this whole one in there. I save the freshest seeds and I put the oldest seeds into the mix. That way I have the best quality seeds whenever I am trying to grow some stuff. I've got chives right here, Gardener Basics from someone. Those are gonna go right into the mix. Love me some chives, but I grow garlic chives usually. I like the garlic chives a little bit better. He, she, ko, bunching onion. He, she. All right. Love me some green onions. Here's more of those bunching onions. Here's a curly dwarf kale. And you know, people don't buy a ton of kale from me, and I don't grow a ton of kale for myself, so a few plants is plenty for me. So that's gonna go in there. Cauliflower, I got plenty of cauliflower of select varieties, so that's gonna go in there. I really like the snowball cauliflower personally. Got a basil, large Italian in here. So yeah, anything that was old or anything that I don't know where it came from or someone just gave me randomly that I didn't go, oh, I really want to grow this and I don't have seeds for this, it's all ending up in this mix because why hold on to it? You gotta let it go. If you want it to grow sometimes, put it out in dirt. It won't hurt. Okay, so that's most of what I wanted to do. There's a few repeats in here. I'm gonna throw a little bit of my own saved lettuce seed in there, a little bit of my own saved coriander seeds, some of my bachelor buttons, and some of my broccoli rabe. And you guys don't need to watch all that, so that was it. Maybe I'll follow up with a video of doing some of the seed balls, or I might wait till spring because I don't have a lot of time right now. But thanks for joining me as we made this seed mix and get planting. Mix up some of your seeds, mix them with some clay, some water, make a slurry, put a little bit of earthworm castings or soil in there, put some cayenne if you have rodents in your area, and boom, you're good to grow. Do it before it rains. That's how it's done. All right, peace.